Pretty much everyone has had something stolen in their lives, whether your mobile phone got nabbed by pickpockets or your handbag was lifted from a bar. It's a horrible feeling. But not everyone is out to get you, as Cameron Grigsby proved. Cameron Grigsby is a young man from Beaumont, Texas, with an awesome story to his name. At high school, he was known as a football player, but in his spare time, Grigsby had other commitments. He held down a job outside of school hours. He worked as a parking attendant at local H-E-B grocery store, and it was during one day at work that something remarkable happened. It was an event that earned Grigsby a moment in the spotlight, and it all took place on one summer's day in 2017. Grigsby, 17, was going about his business as usual. There was nothing particularly unusual about the day. That is, until he spotted something out of the corner of his eye. There was an item in a shopping cart nearby that caught his attention. Looking closer, Grigsby could see that the object in the cart had been unintentionally left behind. It was likely that a shopper had dropped it when unloading their groceries into their car. It was certainly something that they would regret doing when they realized. Grigsby had discovered a wallet, and there was no obvious owner in sight. Perhaps they had already left the parking lot and headed home without it. Whatever the story behind the abandoned wallet, Grigsby wanted to check what was inside. And it was lucky that he did. Inside the wallet was a significant amount of money. It was the kind of sum that most people don't walk around with on their person. When he opened it up, Grigsby discovered that the wallet had a whopping $1,500 in it. Many people would have faced a pretty big dilemma at that point. There's no doubt that some members of society would check if anybody was looking and then simply pocket the money for themselves. After all, finders keepers, right? And to a 17-year-old high school student, $1,500 is a serious amount of money too. It was probably worth weeks of shifts at the grocery store. But in the end, Grigsby decided not to take advantage of someone else's mistake. Instead of keeping the cash for himself, Grigsby did the honorable thing. First, he thought of someone he respected, his football coach, and he remembered something that his sports coach had said to him before. Speaking to 12 News in August 2017, the 17-year-old recounted some of his coach's advice that came into his mind at the crucial moment. "You can always do the right thing," were the words that echoed in Grigsby's head. Stay on the right path and stay focused. And so that's exactly what the teenager did. Grigsby took the wallet that he had found in the shopping cart and gave it to his manager. All the while, there was something else inside his mind that was urging him to do the right thing. "I turned it in," Grigsby said. "My first mind was this could be someone's bill money, car note, house note, or mortgage." His noble actions that day gained Grigsby a lot of respect in the local community. In fact, he became a bit of a star. Grigsby's story appeared in plentiful local media outlets, and it was shared on various social media platforms too. He became a small-time celebrity, and the public was clearly impressed with his sound moral compass, which had told him not to pocket the money. One Twitter user was so proud of the youngster for handing in the wallet, they called for action. They suggested that a fundraising page should be established for Grigsby to help him with his college fees and reward him for doing the right thing. It doesn't appear that a fundraising page has been set up in Grigsby's honor quite yet, but it seems that he made quite an impression on the public nonetheless. 12 News suggested that anyone that sees the teenager working at the grocery store should give him a high five. "Because if you leave something behind, you know he's got your back," the article read. What's more, it wasn't just the once that Grigsby had acted in such an honest way. In actual fact, he had a history of handing in items left behind by visitors of the grocery store. Aside from the wallet, there was also a phone left at the bottom of the shopping cart. The phone was at the front of the cart, like they were waiting to check out and forgot to grab it, Grigsby recalled to 12 News, but he didn't pocket the phone either. He just held onto it until the owner came back to look for it. So, thanks to Grigsby, yet another customer was successfully reunited with their belongings. In a world where plenty of people would have taken the items themselves, it was a very respectable thing to do. It's very assuring to know that there are youngsters like Grigsby who won't take advantage of you, and especially when you do something silly, such as leave your wallet in a shopping cart. "I always believe you get it back threefold," the teenager said. Here's hoping that this happens for him one day.